Hey there, my name is Lilith and I'm the creator behind fashion art label Zigenthaler, based in Melbourne, Australia. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made a two-piece tie-dye set using a t-shirt. So I thought I'd jump on the tie-dye bandwagon. It seems to be a bit of a trend thanks to TikTok, lockdown, and everyone seeming to bleach their hoodies and tracksuits as like a cool loungewear aesthetic. I decided to nod my head to this trend and create a two-piece set out of a t-shirt, and that will specifically consist of a high-waisted bike short and a corset-like crop top. I will be creating this out of a t-shirt that is a tall tee. It's just a long line t-shirt. I used to wear this a lot when I was skiing and snowboarding a lot more than I do now. No longer a snow bunny, more so a spring chicken that's just come out of a 3-month lockdown. So I decided to turn this shirt into something I'm more likely to wear this summer. Feel free to tag along and recreate this look as well. I do make this out of a tall tee, so there is significantly more fabric than a normal t-shirt would be. So just make sure that your shirt is extra large or really baggy. Otherwise you can use any other stretchy tie-dye material. So without further ado, let's get on to the tutorial.
Alrighty, here we go. So this is the tall tee I used. I'm just going to show you what it looks like when I try it on. It's very long, so just make sure you use a baggy shirt or maybe just some other t-shirt material instead. First thing I did was I picked off the pocket. Obviously didn't need this, and I wanted to make sure I could use all of the fabric of the t-shirt. It did turn out to look like the perfect size for a mask, but I already have so many, so I didn't make one. So I used a pair of old bike shorts to create the pattern. So basically, to emulate these shorts, I need to cut out 4 panels. I need to cut out 2 small panels and 2 longer panels. The smaller panels are going to be for my front and the 2 longer panels are going to be for my back. This basically just ensures that the cross section where the pants meet, which usually is around your crotch area, is a little bit more towards the front. So the back panels actually allow a little bit more fabric to reach around your back, which is something I definitely need, especially coming out of a 3-month lockdown. Make sure you don't place it where I put it on the fold, because that means when you open it up, the 2 short sides and the 2 long sides are going to be joined together. You don't want this. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't f***ing do it.
No!
You'll look like a fool like me. I had to cut off the seams on the side and hope for the best that I gave myself enough seam allowance, which I did, but make sure you don't do it on the fold, and make sure you put a 1 centimeter seam allowance around that. So once you've cut those pieces out, you should have 2 front panels and 2 back panels. What you want to do is you want to pair up a front panel to a back panel with the right sides facing each other and lining them up along this long edge here and sewing. After that, you'd also want to line up this edge here. The 2 panels won't lay flat because they are different sizes, but you just need to make sure that this edge here is perfectly lined, because when we sew them all together, it will make sense. So you should have 2 separate leg holes or leg sleeves. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to keep one sleeve with the right side facing in, and we're going to take the other sleeve and flip it so that the right side is facing out, so that when we actually fit that sleeve into the other, we have both right sides of both sleeves facing each other. What you want to do is you want to pin along this edge here, making sure that all of the seams are perfectly lined up together, because this is basically going to be your cross section in the middle of your pant, and you want to make sure that all seams are lined up properly, and then just go along and sew it. I have been using straight stitches. Please make sure that you use a zigzag stitch though. Zigzag stitch is much more flexible. It's designed for stretchy fabric, as I didn't know before, because I tried my shorts on and heard a lot of the seams break. So yes, use a zigzag stitch. So I tried my pants on and everything looks like it fits, except for the fact that the pants are quite low. I do like my bike shorts to be quite high. So I decided to combat this problem by making a waistband. So what I did was I actually cut both of the sleeves off of the shirt and unpicked the seam. And so I cut them out so that they were both rectangles. This just so happened to fit perfectly around my waist as a waistband, and it did line up with the side seams of my bike short. I'm not quite sure if your sleeves will do the same, but you just need to measure out a long band that you can fold over and which will fit around your waist. Basically what you want to do is you want to sew these two pieces together, and then you want to iron them so that they are a folded waistband. I did have to try them on a couple of times and cinch in the top just because I like a really nice fit and I want to be supported. So I just had to alter the design by marking where I wanted it to come in a centimetre more and then sewing it through so that when it did fold, the top was smaller than the bottom. And to sew the waistband to the shorts, you just need to make sure your shorts are inside out and that the top part of the waistband, which is the folded part, is actually facing down, so that when you do slip the waistband into the shorts, the two open layers of fabric from your waistband and the open hem of your shorts all line up together, and just pin around the waist there and sew it. This can be a little bit fiddly just because you do have 3 layers of fabric that need to be all lined up together. I did go in and do a serging stitch or a zigzag stitch around these layers just so that they all came together nicely. So now moving on to the crop top, I grabbed a crop from my wardrobe as a guide for my pattern, and I cut that out with a 1 centimetre allowance and just a little bit more fabric on the top there, just if I make any mistakes like I did for my pants. So I put those two pieces right sides together and then I pinned them on the sides here and sewed. So this is where you could actually finish the project. If you just hem the top and bottom of the crop, you would just have a plain crop tube, but I wanted something a little bit more complicated. So what I'm going to do is cut the middle of the crop here, and I'm going to make a zigzag drawstring sort of corset-like opening. So what I want to do is I want to create the notches first. So I went to the remains of my t-shirt and I cut out a long rectangle about 5 centimeters wide and then folded it right sides inwards and then sewed along the side to make a tube. So after that was done, I pulled the tube inside out and then ironed it down so that the seam was in the middle of one of the sides. Now I need to make my notches, so I just folded it over until the notch was at the desired size. I think I went for a 2 centimeter square, but you can do yours how big or small you want. And I also ended up doing 5 on each side of the crop, so I needed 10. So I just repeated this process until I had as many as I needed. Then I just pinned the notches to the opening of the crop, making sure that the folded sides were facing away from the gap. What you want to do is you want to sew down each of these sides here, and then when we go to hem the crop, the bottom and the top of the crop, we will actually fold in the sides so that the folded edges of the notches will then face into the gap and we can thread the string through. This just gives the crop top a nice finish, so as you can see I pinned the hem down and I just sewed along there, and that's the crop done. We just need a drawstring, so I actually saved the hem of the t-shirt, the bottom hem, and what I did was I cut the seam off, so I just had a nice folded piece of fabric, and then I pulled it so that the outsides curled around and it was like a t-shirt yarn or a drawstring. Because the insides do curl out, I did have to cut off seams and re-sew them so that the seam actually curled in with the rest of the drawstring and wasn't exposed on the outside. So that is your drawstring done. So all you have to do is thread that through the crop top, I also forgot to say, you just need to also hem the bottom of each leg of your shorts and your project is done. This is the finished product. I am so happy and beyond relieved that something good came out of this, considering the sort of mistakes I did with the shorts. But yeah, it's quite a flattering set, especially with the corset-like top. The cool thing about it is that it's a really cool detail, and you can also actually wear this on the side if you like. You can do a bit of a side boob. Otherwise, you can also wear it on the back if you want a more conservative look. But yeah, really stoked. I can definitely see myself wearing this crop top with even other items of clothing. I'm excited to wear this summer.
I'm really happy with the results. The two pieces turned out great, except for a couple of hiccups and obstacles on the way. Obviously, I am really happy in the way that I solved those problems. Yeah, I definitely think I'll be getting a lot of wear out of these, if not together, also just with other different items in my wardrobe. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel to get more content like this. Recycling, thrifting, painting on denim is a lot of the stuff I do, so make sure to subscribe to get more content like that. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next video.